All right, let's rock and roll. We're going to jump into and I'm going to start that over. All right, let's rock and roll. We are going to jump into social media power hour as a team. I'm doing these on a weekly basis. These will be, this is being recorded. It will be immediately within a day on the CEO community on Facebook. Link will, it'll also be on our YouTube, the CEO Creating Entrepreneurs Online, pardon me, YouTube channel. Pieces of it will also show up on the team website, which will launch, I think, September 1st, team.ceo, which will be the kind of the one-stop shop to get training, to do onboarding. You know, the Facebook community is awesome, but we need a little more structure. And the community is a community, not necessarily a bulletin board. So anyway, some amazing, amazing things happen. I would love to know. So we're going to be doing this because we're creating hour by hour and conversation by conversation, because we'll probably have several different subjects in here today, and question by question. The questions that you ask during this social media power hour become content for other people. So it's super, super powerful. And the questions that you ask can help somebody else. All of this stuff is going to be put into a repository, into a bank, if you will, a training bank, where you can come in and just, oh, how do I do that? And you don't have to, in order to teach your teams, you don't have to go do it, right? You can just say, hey, there's this training, go to this, go to the social media training, click, and watch everything that says Instagram, watch everything that says Reels, or go to the Q&A. So anyway, that's what we're going to be doing. Number one today, what I want to cover is, what questions do you have? Do you have a question that you have about how to do something? I don't know if we'll answer it today, but if you do, I want you to drop these in the chat box, because the chat box is something that goes into the recording. And I can pull that up later. And I kind of want to just also get an idea about where you are. Some of you are making Reels every day, or you've made Reels and put them up. Some of you we're going to start earlier. Let me show you how to turn your phone on. See this button right here, right? Some of you, are at different places. But and we're not going to answer everybody's questions for the entire hour, every social media power hour. You might know everything we talk about. And if so, great. Why aren't you teaching this class? Why did I have to teach this class? Because that is you stepping up to teach this class. All right. Oh, Beverly, how can we set a social media schedule? And I'm glad that people are asking questions that I can't answer right this second. Okay. There are some resources out there, and we're going to make some recommendations. Part of the challenge one of the answers that you need to find with social media, which I'm going to call organic marketing. Social media is organic marketing. You, without any added help, without any pesticides, herbicides, chemical fertilizers, it is 100% sweat equity. If you ever built a home and wanted to work on part of that home, what a mistake, right? Because you're like, I should have just worked at my job and made more money and paid somebody who could really tile my bathroom the right way. But it is the ultimate sweat equity in marketing. You're putting in all this work. There are a lot of fruits to it, by the way, as opposed to paid marketing. Okay, so this is organic marketing. I will quote Gary Vaynerchuk. I absolutely love what he said. He's like, listen, we live in a time where you, for free, can post your media. You can create a media channel. And that's one thing I want you to think about. I want you to think as far as the marketing side of your business. Network marketing. They're getting closer. Network marketing. You're in a network marketing business. How do you grow your business? You have a funnel on the networking side. It's kind of free. All these leads are kind of free, right? Why? Because they're not really free. You've invested to create those leads. the circle of people that know you, like you, trust you. And now you're reaching out to them directly to build your business. You ought to be doing that. It is the fastest, freest way to get immediate results, by the way. And yes, I'm talking to whoever's listening to this that has been in 19 different network marketing companies over the period of 17 years. I don't know how you do 19 companies in 17 years. Okay, that's a tongue-in-cheek comment. But multiple companies, or you've multiple product releases, so you feel like you've talked to your friends and they will never listen to you. Talk to Florence LaRocca, by the way, sitting here on the Hollywood Squares today, because she just had a friend who just ordered the Glow Stack Collagen and Pro Tandem 7 years ago, said no or wasn't ready, and she networked today. Okay, that's all investment networking. You should be doing that. And if you think you have exhausted that list, you are wrong. You're wrong, and it will cost you. Don't make that mistake. Figure out how to approach that list, how to bring value to that list. And we could, DM me. We'll talk about that another time. Marketing. Network marketing. There's also a marketing side of this business, which some people used to call cold marketing, right? It was people going and doing flyers, doing other things. Today, we can do social media. Social media is marketing. As Gary Vee said, listen, can you imagine the fact that you have a platform? You should think of yourself as a media channel. I don't care what business you're in, he said, but you should think of yourself as a media company owner. And how do you preach your message, right? Is it going to be 100% infomercials? Is it going to be 100% paid as 30-second commercials about the same product over and over and over? Can you imagine if you turned on the television and every movie on Netflix was the same commercial? You would not stay there, right? So you have to think of yourself as a media channel. What am I going to give to people, right? And he said, listen, you have 7 platforms in front of you right now. And how much does it cost you to populate a message on these 7 platforms? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Pinterest. What am I missing? Okay. TikTok. How could I forget TikTok, right? 7 platforms. I'm not operating on all of them right now. I'm not operating on all of them in a great way. I'm seeking to right now to operate in one of them in a really good way. And I play daily in 3. I play daily in Instagram, in Facebook, and recently started to do TikTok. I take that back. I also have a YouTube channel, but it's kind of a team built channel. But I'm doing something out there. I'm creating content, right? So think of yourself as a media channel. Can you imagine that you could publish on all of these media channels, and how much do they charge you? Nothing. So if you got really good content, okay, you can put it out there for free. Super, super powerful. Now here's the beauty. The network and the marketing side are melding. Okay. I started how many of you are excited about collagen? I'm super excited about collagen. I'm taking a ton of collagen toast. Okay. I love that flavor. I've been making collagen posts and reels and stories since we launched collagen, because I'm getting really, really serious about it as a business, not just as a new product. I'm treating it as a massive business, almost a standalone business. That's marketing side. I talk to my friends now when I'm networking, and you know what my friends say? Oh, hey, I want to talk about that collagen thing you've been talking about. So in other words, they didn't go through the full funnel and join me and say, okay, I want to buy your collagen. But when I networked with them, they referenced back to my marketing efforts and said, hey, we need to talk about that collagen. In fact, one of my friends who's in the Latin speaking, he's from Colombia, lives in Florida. He's like, oh yeah, you mentioned collagen a few weeks ago, Seth. I went and did my homework. I started researching collagen, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, oh, wow, Seth, wow, wow, wow. And now he's on Liquid Collagen and we're evaluating the business. Okay, so your marketing side and your network marketing and your networking side don't have to be independent. And in fact, if you did nothing else but create content over here, which went to your network of people you already know and who already know and like and trust you. That could be a massive game changer for your business, because these people, like, how often are the friends that you reach out? Let me go to somebody I talked to yesterday, right? My friend, John, who's not in my LifeVantage business, who I reached out to yesterday, by the way. How often do I reach out to John? Right? Well, not very often, right? We haven't gone to lunch, right? We haven't done a lot of things, so I don't. But if I've got a marketing presence online, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and John's plugging into that every day, my network is plugging into my marketing and my messaging and my media. Media equals messaging. So when people say, "Oh, are you on social media?" I want you to think again, you own a media company. You own a messaging or communication company. Does that make sense? And if you have a messaging and a communication company that doesn't publish, in other words, people are going to their television and they turn it on. If you don't have a channel, guess what? You don't exist. If you don't exist, they're not going to watch you. They're not going to get your messaging, and you're irrelevant. And that's what it's like in network marketing when you don't reach out to your friends, except when you're going to invite them to get into your network marketing company, right? So having social media, having a media presence means that they may be plugging into you on a regular basis. I have a friend, Jason, who we did a one-on-one on Zoom recently, who said he's probably going to buy product, but he still hasn't yet, but he's watching my posts. How do I feel about that? Darn good. I want him watching my stuff. You want your people watching you. So tell you a quick story. A friend of mine, she's the top level leader at a network marketing company out of Europe. She also has created a media company and has created funnels online. Okay. Spent a lot of money to do it, by the way, but she makes over $1 million a year in her media company. And she teaches people how to create organic content, right? How to build a small group or a customer following with their social media. And she was telling me, she's like, "Listen, Seth, like I was racking my brain, just kind of beating my head against the wall in my network marketing business." Now I'm going to say she probably was ignoring some of the money on the table with her networking, right? I'm always going to tell you, go back to that network, go back to that network. You got to figure out, you've already invested in it. And I promise you today, you have people in your network who are going to buy product or who are going to sign up in this business, but you just haven't figured it out yet. You haven't figured out the communication strategy to them yet. You haven't talked to them or nurtured it enough yet, right? Anyway, she's like, so I was there at the mall one day and I was thinking, man, I need to bump into some new people. I should go talk to that person, or that person, right? And what did she notice? She noticed all these moms in the mall. And what were these moms doing? Is their kids were at the, I don't know, as their husbands were doing something, in some store, as the kids were at the little playground. What did she notice all the moms doing? She noticed all the moms were on their stinking phones. Their attention was on their screens. And she said, I gotta figure that out. People's attentions are on their screens. So guess what? If they're not watching you on a regular basis, they're not thinking about you. How much is it going to cost you to get in front of them? Nothing necessarily, right? There are various options, but you're going to have to make the investment to create the content. All right. So with that, I'm going to open up. Any other questions? Beverly, great question about how do I create a media schedule? So right now, start with something, right? If you don't have any schedule, start with something. Create a social media schedule, right? Mine is super simple. Like this is not there. There's no magic here. I have a daily schedule. That's pretty much all I do right now. Okay. And that daily schedule at the beginning of the day on my daily planner, my network marketing planner, I'll just write in here, did I do Instagram? Did I do an Instagram story? Did I do a Facebook story? And by the way, quick hack, I do it in Instagram because Instagram will allow you to connect your Facebook story. And so I post my story in Instagram and it automatically posts in Facebook. So I never post Facebook stories by themselves, pretty much, because I already do it in Instagram. Okay. When I've done that, I put a check mark, or actually what I do is I put a P. I put a check mark, and then every page I do in my story. Okay. I'm talking about stories because you should invest in stories. Okay. It's one of the easiest ways to get into social media. If I do a one-page story, you know what a one-page story is? It's just one time. If I add to that story, it's a new page. If I add to that, it's a new page. These can all be related. They can be a story, a connect the dots. They can also be totally independent. Okay. If you know me, you know I like at least 3 pages on that story if possible. If you're going to do nothing, do at least 1 page and get something out there so you have a presence, right? But I like 3 or more because I like to see how people are watching, right? How many people watch page 1, page 2, page 3? So I keep track. Did I do the story today? Great. And how many pages did I do? So I might do 3 pages in the morning. Awesome. And then in the afternoon, I might have another idea. I put a comma. So I know that I had a break. I did a 3-page story, and then I'll do a comma, and I did another 2 pages, right? This just helps me to keep track. It's kind of like when I was at the gym yesterday in my garage where we have a little gym, and I was doing my reps, okay? And on that rep app, it says log this set. I just click the button and it logs the set. It's just helped me keep track that I actually did something, okay? Did I post on YouTube? Did I post in my Facebook community? Did I post on the did I converse on the CEO women thread, right? Did I make a Facebook post? Did I make an Instagram post? And when I mean a post, I'm talking about static post, right? On your timeline, right? You've got stories, and then you've got your timeline. Those are different. Your timeline will be there forever. Your stories are only there for 24 hours. Okay. So Beverly, what you should do is just create this week. What is your strategy? What do you think is important, right? Is just posting something every day important? Then just focus on that. The key is just to level up what you're doing today. Don't try to do everything I'm doing if you're not doing half of what I'm doing. Don't hang out at my level if you're doing twice as much as me, right? This is your journey. This is your media company. You can use us as inspiration, but you need to decide. I think you should be, if I were you and you're kind of wondering where to start or where to put your money in, I think stories on Facebook and Instagram right now are really real. I know a lot of people are using LinkedIn. I'm really not doing a lot on LinkedIn. Although I am doing a weekly post on LinkedIn because, and I'm throwing, I kind of just giving you a lot of stream of consciousness stuff here because I know you're all at different levels, and so am I. I mean, I'm on my journey. I recently got involved with something called Restream, Stream, STREAM. And Restream allows me to create a live video, and I've done these with Ann Devere, create a live video and stream it live to my Facebook timeline, to my LinkedIn timeline, to my YouTube channel all at one time. So I'm in Restream, and then I'm publishing out to all these other platforms at the same time, right? So, and so I do LinkedIn, but I only do it on there. Anyway, so we'll talk more about that. I'm going to keep these questions, and Beverly, that one will stay here. You know, it'll kind of go on to on a big repository of questions that we can come back to. What else? Okay, so this is from Bob. Oh, Bob sent this to me privately, which I'm going to read publicly. Okay, what or how do you come up with organic content? This is a great question. Okay, what do you mean by organic content? And your message or posts with value for them? I don't know, Bob, if you can elaborate on that as I get to it. Number one, so what is organic content? Did I answer that, Bob? Thumbs up. Did I answer? Do you need?
Yeah, I don't know what, again, if there's a place to start, right? I'm probably 4 or 5 steps before that, Seth.
Good. Okay, good.
So when you mean organic content, is it just creating posts with value, or what? I mean, I can turn on my phone, but other than that, I've been a little resistant. to, I'm a little resistant to that part.
We can teach the old dogs, folks. Ladies, the old dogs are in house. Just kidding. Bob's not old, but um, awesome. Great question. So when I say, so content is anything that's on the screen. Anything you see on your screen is content. There's paid content, which people paid to get in front of you. Did you know that other network marketing, that other professionals in the industry, did you know that that some of the ads you see, like if you're scrolling through Facebook or on TikTok or, online on Google, it's putting up ads at various places, right? Sometimes it actually looks, you don't think of it as an ad. You just think that it's another post. But if you look at the top on Facebook, you see who it's from, it'll say sponsored, right? That is an ad that somebody paid to get in front of you, okay? And they could have gotten that in front of you because of where you live, because of the location or the region that you live, maybe the street that you live, okay? We live in a crazy matrix world. They could have done that because of your browsing history. They could be there. They could have put that content in front of you because you were on lifevantage.com looking at collagen. And another network marketer from an ABC corporation could have paid to get their content, which is a video saying, yo, you want the best collagen, you want to look good, you want to look sexy, boom, collagen for you. They could have put that 7-second video in front of people who are looking at 10 other collagen websites. That's paid content. Content is anything on the screen. Paid content that is content that was paid to be there, right? There can be, and then there's organic content, and that's what you're going to create. It can be posts with no value, Bob. That's still organic content. It's just like a carrot that has no flavor, right? So organic content is the content that you're creating, okay? How do I decide? How do you come up with organic content? Okay. One thing that you absolutely need to do is you need to create a file for your content, okay? You need to have a place that you can go to put content ideas. I use my notes app. I use an app called Evernote, just because I kind of like the way it organizes. But for a long time, I just used Notes, just the stock app, that came for free on your phone. And let me go here. I have a file called social media content. I mean, it's super generic. And on this, on this file, anytime I get an idea, okay, anytime I get an idea for a content, I write it down. You got to do this. Do not think you're going to remember it. You won't. We get too much. If you got an idea for the ministry, because you're talking on Sunday, right? I'm talking in a week and a half, okay? It goes into a file because you're not going to remember it. This is my social media content file. And when I have an idea, so when I'm in my bed and I have an idea, I get up and I go pick up my phone and I write it down. Boom. Okay? When I am at church and I have an idea for social media, listen, God talks to me about social media at church too. If I'm not taking communion, I'm going to take that idea and that inspiration. I'm just going to write it down. I'm not working on it right now, but I'm going to write it down because it was an idea. Okay. If I'm doing something, if I'm watching social media and I see an idea, oh, I'm going to go write it down. Right. I'm going to write that down. And I'm like, oh, do this, this, this. Okay. If I'm watching a movie, I get a lot of inspiration watching movies. Okay. I was at a concert last night, Thomas Rhett in the Pit, 8 feet from the stage, me and my daughter Magdalene. It was her 18th birthday present from me and Steph. And it was just me and her. We went there and we're like this close to Thomas Rhett. It was awesome. I had ideas about my business or social media content right there. Okay. So write those down or take a selfie. If you know that you've got an idea and you've got to take this picture right now or create something. Sometimes I don't have an idea for the content, but I have an idea about the picture. Some of you were on Power Hour the other day. I posted a story. I was out fixing a pipe in the pasture, right? And I was looking at, and all three of my horses were hobbled and picketed because I wanted them to eat pasture in a specific area instead of being picky and going over to the brand new growth where I've got growth at this big. It's just fine. They need to be eating that down. And they were hobbled and picketed. And I thought, oh, the horses are working in the pasture. And I just had this idea. Oh, that's kind of cute. So I pulled out my camera as I'm literally in the hot sun, and I take a quick video, and I have this idea, horses working in the pasture. And so I take the video, boom. Then I'm like, I'm working in the pasture. So then I got a bucket and I set my phone up. I didn't have a tripod with me. I got my bucket. I turned the video on. I hit, flip. So it's looking at me. I framed it. So, okay, I'm going to be working. I hit record, and then I went to work for 30 seconds, cutting pipe and gluing pipe. Okay. And that was it. That was an idea. So my next recommendation is on your phone now, in your photos, now create a file or an album, as they will say it. So you have a note book. Now, if you want to use paper, right? I'm just going as much as I can to digital, but create a note section for ideas. And this idea would have been horses work in the pasture, my work in the pasture. Boom. That's a content idea, right? Now I go to my phone and I click social media posts album. And so now what do I do? As soon as I create that content or take that picture, I go and I can add, because the picture is going to stay in your big, long album, but your general album, right? And anybody find that to be unmanageable? Like, I got so much stuff in there, right? Why do you take 10 pictures of an event? Take flipping one picture, like one family picture. I don't want to have to edit 10. Like I'm like, my kids want to borrow my phone to take a picture. Yes, but you edit it. Take 10, but I only want one on there. Okay. Keep the one good. I don't want the one with everybody's best face. There's one on there. Okay. Still doesn't work. I do it too. So take the content that you thought I might use this in social media, and you open up an album, you know what I should be doing? Sorry. Let's open up Zoom, because I love to show you the screen on this. And Melanie, thank you so much for dropping that comment. Sometimes, you just wonder, are we doing any good? This is such a big subject, and it's not like your business where I'm going to say proven plan 1, 2, 3, right? But by doing all these recordings, we are going to have that 1, 2, 3, so we can just take snippets and, hey, do this kind of a thing. So thanks for being here. So I'm going to stay co-host. I've got it. I'm not going to do audio, but I am going to share my screen. So check this out. Start broadcast in 3, 2, 1. Boom. Okay. So now you're seeing my phone screen. I like to do this when we're doing this class. So these are my albums. Okay. I'm opening up my photos. There's always a little delay here, but I open up my photos. Stinking, there's a big delay. Oh, hold on. I'm not on Wi-Fi on my phone. That'll speed it up here a little. Okay. So here's my album. And if you go to my recents, it's just like, goodness gracious, how many pictures do you have? And how do you keep track of all that stuff and blah, blah, blah. So there at the bottom of my screen, I've got a toolbar, search, albums, for you, and library. Library is the big deal where everything is. And it's kind of organized. You can organize it by years and months and days, but go to albums there and just see, now you've got little albums, and you can, at the top right-hand corner, top left-hand corner, click. I'm holding my phone like this so you can see, but I'm forgetting I'm sharing my screen. So I'm going to turn my screen toward me. Top left-hand corner, click the plus button. Oh, new album. Okay. I can create a new album. I create a new folder. I could create a new folder that could be social media. And then within that folder, I could create albums, and I could do like, for example, I'm starting a new album called Mercedes Sprinter. You know that we just bought a Mercedes Sprinter van, 24-foot Winnebago coach on a Mercedes-Benz chassis with a diesel engine. We've put 6,000 miles on it in 3 months. Yes, we're having fun. And so I like to take pictures. I like to do stories. By the way, does that fit into my social media strategy? Today, we're not talking about content and strategy and audience and your messaging. We do need to do that, okay? But that's something that's easy to talk about. I love, and are people in my audience who want more, women who want more freedom and money and life in their life. Is that something that might touch some of them? I know it is, because it's touched some of you and you're my avatar. Okay, right? So what I need to do though, is as I take these videos of the sprinter, right? And these pictures of me on the Columbia River 3 weeks ago, 7 a.m., my MacBook out on a picnic table, my CEO bottle, my water bottle, and the sprinter van, the Mercedes in the background. And I took my phone, and I took a picture of that because that was content, which ended up on my story and said something like, working my business from anywhere in the world, right? It was up this week, by the way. I want to make sure that I have some place I can find that photo again, right? Because I don't want to have to scroll. So when you create that, go then and just hit like, okay, I can show you how to do this. Let's go to recents. Let's go to a video that I just created. Okay, I want to say this is one of my reels. This is my reel from yesterday. And how that awesome or what? This is my reel from last night. I got inspired because I watched other people's reels. Okay, I saw a guy do this, and I'm like, I'm going to do it me. So I want to keep this around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. In the bottom left-hand corner, I've got the upload button. You need to know the upload button. It's the little square piece of paper with an arrow going up. That means I'm going to take this and send it somewhere. That's different from the download button, which is basically that thing upside down, which would be a piece of paper with an arrow going down. I'm wanting to upload this or send this somewhere. So I'm going to hit that button. And it's going to give me all these options. Did you know this? I could actually text that, send it on all these social media platforms, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to scroll a little there at the bottom. I'm going to scroll. Oh, I could duplicate this. That can be helpful sometime. I could hide it. I could put it into slideshow. But what I want to do is I want to add it to an album. I'm going to add it to an album. Okay. And I'm going to, now it brings up all my albums. I'm just going to go quickly into my social media content. I've got 270 pieces of content in there. I might need albums of albums, right? But I'm going to drop it in there. Boom. Now it didn't take it away from my recents album, but it just added it to my social media albums. So now when I'm ready to go create social media posts and stories, I can go there. Does that make sense? So that's how to create an album. So back to Bob's question, how do I get my ideas? I'm going to show you how I get my ideas. I'm going to go to Instagram. Okay. Oops, cancel. I was creating something. So I'm going to go to my homepage on Instagram. Okay. This is a great concept of how do I get content? Well, this comes down to number one, and this is social media 101. What do you want to say? Because who are you talking about? Who are you talking to? Remember my speech at Activate? This is my time. I know who I am. I know why I'm here. Okay. So if you know who you are and you know why you're here, don't spend 10 hours on that today, but think about it as you're driving and start to formulate ideas. Then you know who you're going to help. Who am I going to help? Who's my avatar, right? Who is my avatar? I can actually tell you who my avatar is. I could show you who my avatar is. And maybe I'll do that on a different thing. I have an entire sheet. I know who I'm looking for, right? Start with something simple. Why am I here? What do I love? Okay. And you'll get, but where you want to be is, I know who I want to talk to. I know who I want to attract. Oh, I want to attract people who want to do something with their life. Awesome. Too wide, not narrow enough. Narrow it down. I want to talk to women who are 35 plus, who are accomplished, who are energetic, who are sick of where they've been, who are health-minded and wealth-driven. That's who I want to talk to. I want to talk to women who are sick of the corporate grind, or I should say, and who need more in their life. They need to provide more for their family because they're double income, or they're single income, or they're single mom. But I'm talking to a woman who basically has done a lot of great things, but needs to get more with less time, who's looking for a system, who's looking for mentorship, who's looking for fulfillment, who's looking for community, and wants freedom to define their lifestyle. Can you kind of get that idea? I know who I'm dialed into. That way, when I'm looking for content, the content I put out is going to be more applicable to them. Does that make sense? You might say, I'm looking for dudes who've been in, who've owned their own business, given their lives great income, but didn't get, but that was their sacrifice for a career. And now who want to make the money and spend the time with their grandkids. Oh, I'm talking to Bob Robbins right now. Do you see what I'm saying? I bet there are 300,000 guys out there who fit that criteria. How do you find them? You do a blog, you do a vlog, you do a podcast, you tailor your, Stephanie and I are working on a podcast idea right now called, I don't know, maybe we'll call it Unstoppable by CEO Women. And it'll be us interviewing women to hear their stories about how they made CEO decisions. It'll be stories about, it'll be leadership, CEO stories of women for women about overcoming. Finance, yes. Faith, yes. Relationships, yes. Health, yes. Those are the 4 big areas, by the way, in life where people are stuck. They're stuck in their spirituality. They're stuck in their money, finances. They're stuck in their health, and they're stuck in their relationships. Those are the big 4 hot areas that they need help in. Where do I spend most of my time? Finance and health. Do you see that? So where I'm getting this content, Bob, is I've got a framework to draw from. I know who I'm talking to, and I know what they need. And that helps a whole lot. Okay. So here's what and so as you come up with ideas and little fits of inspiration, no matter how small they are, write them in your notebook, right? So your notebook and your album, Now I'm just going to scroll here. And I'm going to find, okay. So this is a girl. This girl, her name's Shay. Shay is not, how can I get rid of, there we go. Shay actually is somebody I follow. She's not quite in my demographic because she's not 35. She's in her 20s. But this girl's crushing it online. She's in the top of, she's in It Works, okay? And her content, I might have been in her, right? She's actually, I'm sure her demographic is women, but somehow I saw some of her content. I'm like, I like her style. And I want to learn from her because she's talking to some of the people that I want to talk to. So I want to learn what she's saying. So I follow a lot of women because that's my mark. That's what Steph and I do. We're about championing women. Yes, Bob, I don't mind if you show up too. You can, Bob, there's a seat in the back. Right? Because Laura's the one that was instigating part of you guys getting into business, right? So I'm going to find those men that will connect with me. I've got a lot of incredible, deep, intimate relationships with men on our team. But guess what? Laura was instrumental in making that happen, right? So I've got to learn the language and the dialogue of these people. So I watched Shay here. I've listened to her podcast. Right? This is the reel that she created. And okay, stop. So I don't care about this one. So I'm smoking my butt, smoking my. All I'm doing, I'm in Instagram right now. I'm scrolling. You can do this on stories. You can do this on the timeline. I'm scrolling up on Reels right now. This doesn't interest me. This doesn't interest me. So I do a lot of the scrolling. No, this doesn't interest me.
Good morning, angels.
Good morning, Charlie.
No.
Hola, come tale? Ding, 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 ding.
Dancing's a big thing, by the way. If you love to dance, You got to start making reels, okay? Okay, okay. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff, right?
Let people think
But
you're
here's the deal. Oh, check this out. Check this out. Does this look familiar? All right. So this guy, Yusef, made this video. This caught my attention. I just thought, wow, that's cool. Why? It's just fresh. I don't have a message yet for this, right? But it just, like, it's cool, and it talks to me. That's the inspiration. Stop. I'm gonna hold my finger on it. Okay. But when something that you like I thought I could do this. That's what I'm gonna run with. Now, how do I now morph this into a message to the women I want to talk to? Right? Oh boy. But this was just an idea. So here's what I did. I saved it to my Instagram album. Yes, yet another album. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to make this full screen. I click on it. Bottom right-hand corner, the three dots. Okay? The three dots. Brings up this.
The way you move, the way you feel.
I want to save this.
The way you move, the way you feel.
I'm going to hit save. It's now saved in my Instagram save. Now, I'm going to show you how to find that really quick. Now that I've saved it, I'm Instagram home right now. Bottom right hand corner, I'm going to my personal profile. Okay, see my picture, bottom right hand corner. This is me, and we're going to talk next time maybe about this page and dive into it. But this is all me, all my posts, anything, blah blah blah. Okay. Top right hand corner, the hamburger. I call it the hamburger. It's the three lines. It looks like a hamburger, a bun, a burger, and a bun. Okay, it's the hamburger, the top three lines. Click on that. And this brings up a whole bunch of options. One of those options is saved. Okay, so here's the cool thing. As you're scrolling, if you see posts that you like, just hit the three dots. I'm going to call it the more button, right? You know, like when you're typing and you wanted to say more, but you didn't, and you do dot, dot, dot. My daughter was always laughing at me because I do tons of dots, right? It's kind of like run on set. That's there. I had more to say. So the more button is the dot, dot, dot. The hamburger button is the line, line, line. Okay. So if you see something you like that catches your attention, you want to watch it later. You need to see it later. You want to save it as an idea. You want to remember how to recreate this. Hit the hamburger button, pardon me, hit the more button and hit saved. Then you can go to on your profile, hit hamburger, and go to saved and check this out. I can see all of the posts I've ever saved. I can also see all of the audio I've ever saved. I can actually just save the audio. Like if I want to create a reel, and we're going to get into creating reels. If you want to learn how to create reels that are real, pun intended, drop a reel in the chat box for me today. I need to know how much you really need to create reels. Also, DM me. If you want to be a squeaky wheel and get an answer to your question, okay, then DM me every day, Beverly. I need a social media calendar. And if you do that for 33 days, then it's probably going to be higher on my list. Okay. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. Be the squeaky wheel, right? If you need something, you got to just push to make it happen. So all posts, I click on all posts, and this shows me all of these posts that I've liked. The original one, by the way, why did we see this one today?
Cause I'm lost in the way you move, the way you
Yusef,
feel.
who's in London, he must be in Ashland. Why did we see that one? Is because I originally saved this one. This is the original.
Okay.
Smooth. Isn't that just stinking smooth? I don't even know what he's talking about, but it makes me want to follow this or click on the caption, right? So I saw this slide. Now you'll notice the music, notice everything. Now watch what happened. I saved it. And by the way, how do you save I'm going to teach you how to save the audio. Because if you wanted to recreate this, bottom left-hand corner, you see the little music, right? Bottom tiny left, the little two notes. And it says original audio. and it shows you this audio. It also shows you all these other posts who have used this audio. 547,000 reels have used this audio, okay? And I've already saved it, okay? I've already saved it, which means that when I go to create a reel, I can actually go and pick up this piece of music and use it for free, okay? This makes, I hope, you can't hear the music from the reel, Bob? Are any of you hearing my music?
We hear the music, but we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
Can you hear my voice?
Yes.
Now can you hear my voice? Oh my goodness.
I hear your voice with the music.
Okay, it's just
Now
when I've
you're
got
good.
that music, it makes it hard. So I'll make note of that. When I've got things going on, I'll let you listen to it. Then I'll come back to my voice. You can hear me now, fine. Okay.
Yes.
So you saw the post. You saw his reel. I got the idea because I thought it was cool. I just wanted to recreate it. I didn't even know how I was going to tie it into my business. That happens all the time. Like I don't know what I'm going to say, but I'll show you what happened. So I then had this idea that I wanted to recreate that reel. So I did yesterday. I had an hour free. It took me about an hour to do this. I had Magdalene helping me. I had Stephanie helping me. I mean, this was not an easy one. This wasn't just a reel, blah, 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 blah. Okay. They don't all have to be hard, but you'll notice there's something special about this one. I mean, like this one is like, wow, how did that dude do this? Right. So I'm not going to show you on the inner workings of how I created the reel today, but I will show you what I created. So yesterday I went and created this reel, which is called, so I put a caption there. What is this reel called? Dress code in the home office. So remember, who am I talking to? I'm talking to women who want to work from anywhere and make money and have a free lifestyle. Women who maybe want to work in their pajamas. Women who want to work, you know what I'm saying? Women who are attracted to working on their phone, like they're on their phone watching this, blah, blah, blah. So it's not my whole message. It's just a little snippet. Imagine it, your media message needs to be focused and it needs to be light, but think about every piece of content as a little tiny mirror on a disco ball, right? It's just one time. Is it the whole story? Is it the whole thing? No, it's one little color on a mosaic. It's one little, I'm gonna be the happy PBS guy, I forgot his name, right? One little happy tree. It's one little stroke on the one happy tree, right? There's no piece of content, by the way, that's going to be everything for you. So stop worrying about it. Like, stop worrying about, like, I love this reel. I got to get over this reel and get to the next reel, right? I'm in basketball. I shot the shot. It's gone. I've got to get on to the next one. I created the song. I can't sit there and wait to see if it charted top 40 and wait. No, I got to get writing the new song. Go, create more than you did yesterday. That's all that matters. Just do more than you did yesterday. So here's what came of that idea. Okay. So Bob, I watched something. It's number one, I know I'm dialing into who I want to talk to, the message that I'm putting out, who I'm talking to, why I'm here, and what I'm saying. Okay, now that I've got that, and by the way, if you don't have that, pick 5 things. If you can't pick 5, that's the fewer the better, but 3 to 5 things that you love and are passionate about, and that you think that person might be love or passionate about. Because if you're not passionate about it, you're not going to talk about it. Okay, right? I'm passionate about working from home and being free. Thus, my background, CEO freedom, right? If you love bass fishing, then make one of the things you talk about bass fishing, right? Because those dudes might be into fishing or into bass fishing. If you're into hunting, great. If you're into charcuterie, if you're into cooking, you know that I love cooking, that kind of float, right? So there are a few things I talk about that kind of funneled people in, okay? So I had this idea. I kind of know who I'm talking to. I know who I'm talking to. I saw something that was interesting me and spoke to me, and that was that transition. And so this is what I created. I started to create the idea and I'm going to talk about dress code because I'm free. Oh, well, how do I do that? And this is what I got. So I'm going to be quiet and turn up the sound.
Parece que hoy me gustas un poco más.
Okay.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Parece que hoy me gustas un poco más.
Okay.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Parece que hoy me gustas un
Okay. So I showed you that a couple of times just because of the delay. And because I think it's actually, I did it perfectly. I mean, I did it perfectly. And I have to thank Stephanie and Magdalene who helped me put that together. And my little girls who always love watching my reels. They think it's the best thing in the world, right? So I created that. And then I put the content together and I created a caption. I'm going to take you back to this, but it's going to have the music on. So I'm going to let you read the caption. The caption's where my messaging comes in. Okay.
Parece que hoy me gustas un poco más.
Okay.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Parece que hoy me gustas un poco más.
Okay. So the hook is the video. That's the hook. It's supposed to look interesting, right? What's the content? The content is the message I want to share, right? That guy's style and layout and execution was the hook for me. The content for me was, hey, I work in a home office. I can wear whatever I darn well please. And here it is, by the way. So I took a screenshot so you could read it, right? I wear what I want in my home office: bathrobe, hat and jeans, gym duds, freedom to create individual work lifestyle. So grateful for this CEO life. DM me freedom if you're looking to create your own CEO lifestyle. Hook, content, or hook, story, call to action, right? Hook, story, call to action. We learned this in Ann DeVere's in my class, our two-day paid intensive. Hook, story, call to action. Okay. Do I get all of those three in every single thing I do? No, I don't. But I just try to keep that in mind. And when I get stuck, when in doubt, create it anyway and put it out there. Okay. Do something. Then I've got some hashtags that are my own that I'm building. I'm building a hashtag. Creating Entrepreneurs Online, CEO Freedom, CEO Women on the Move. Those are our hashtags. Nobody else in the world pretty much uses those, but I use those all the time. So if somebody clicks on it, it's going to our stuff. Then I'm doing general hashtags because I'm hoping that maybe somebody's going to be picked up and come to my content from that. Work from home and women empowerment, right? So that's kind of where we are on that content creation. Great question. I'm going to bring up the chats, see where we are. Okay, love this from Melanie. This conversation helped me so much this week. So much conversation happening with my random posts because of this. Here's a strategy. So networking and marketing. Marketing brings the people to you so that you can network. A higher funnel is networking. Okay, a higher funnel is networking. If you already had all of the relationships, deep relationships with people that knew you, liked you, and trust you, and you knew all the people you needed to know who wanted to work with you, buy your product, and sign up in the business as brand partners, then you wouldn't need marketing. You'd have the network. And you just know, oh, I need to call these 3 people today. You'd call them, hey, I've got something amazing. They'd say, I've been waiting. Yes, I'm signing up. Then you'd call 5 other people and they'd sign up on the Collagen Active Glow Stack, and you'd have your customers for the day. You wouldn't use marketing. You wouldn't go anywhere. You'd make 8 calls and you'd have your entire month's work done. 5 new customers and 3 distributors, right? But so networking is a higher functioning. It is a hierarchy and it's more important, by the way. Okay. But why are we marketing? Because you don't know all of those people yet. And there are people out there that you don't know who are waiting for that message. So you got to find them. But the marketing, and I'm tying in Melanie's comment here. The marketing brings you to the networking. Her marketing, her random posts, organic content. People engaged with that. Okay. And then she put that back into her networking skills to take it to conversation. So we're almost taking online marketing to offline networking. And when I say offline, that's got to be careful, because the first thing you should do with as many people as you can, okay? Content creation to marketing brings to a new lead conversation. If that person is in your target, yeah. Oh no, you're good. Let me take it off screen share. There you go. This content and marketing leads to conversation. They become part of your network. One-on-one Zoom. What does Beverly call them? What does Beverly call them? Beverly, what do you call those?
I call that a virtual tea.
Virtual cup of tea. Okay. If
I
you're a
have
tea-
one scheduled for Tuesday with a guy in England or somewhere. They're so fun.
That's part of your funnel. That's part of your networking funnel. Now, I would rather have, like, if I had 10 virtual cups of coffee, that'd be really virtual, since all of you know I'm Mormon and I don't drink coffee, but which is fine. Or virtual Axios, a virtual beverage, a virtual hot chocolate, whatever you want to call it, right? I don't care. Take your favorite beverage and have a virtual with them. If I had 15, I'll break them into 15 minutes. If I had somebody funneling me 10 of those a day, I'd be the #1 recruiting person in the world. And I would find 3 elites in 30 days. Now, they wouldn't be elite in 30 days, but I would find the elite. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many of you are elite, by the way? How many of you are elite? Raise your hand. Why don't I see more hands up? You're elite now. You're not elite 10 years from now. God says that all things are before him. Yeah, Carolee gets it now. She's like, well, I'm not elite. No, you have to have the mentality that you're elite. How many elites are here with me right now by raise of hand? How many masters? Okay, I'll tell you where I know where I am. I'm double master. I was on with CEO Steve Fife and Cunningham, Kristen Cunningham, and Jeff Pincock, VPs, right? I was on with them and I said, I've got a strategy to take 2 positions to Master Pro 10 simultaneously. Like I'm gonna have a double Master Pro 10 paycheck. Who's double Master Pro 10? My hands are up. My hands have to be up right now. Okay. If your hands not up as elite today, guess what? It's not going to be up as an elite. It's not going to be up as an elite ever until you raise your hand before you hit elite to say, I'm elite. I'm going elite. Okay. So, anyway, I forgot where I was, but, where were we? We're talking about content. Oh, where were we? Oh, virtual teas. Like, I would much have, if I had 10 virtual teas booked for me every day, I wouldn't do any Facebook posts. Why? Why would I do that? Like, I take it back, because I would probably maximize my time, and I know I could reach somebody else. But what I'm saying is, if I had an hour to do my business a day, an hour for marketing, okay, and I already had a funnel that was full of virtual teas, and I had 4 of those booked a day, and I had nothing else because I had a job and kids and the ministry. I only had that hour. I wouldn't do anything on Facebook except for take a screenshot of me, because I could do that, a screenshot of me doing my virtual tea, and then I'd post it. But like, why would I do anything else? Like, if I had an hour a day to do my business, and all I had people lined up who needed to have me teach them the 5-5-3, get 5, keep 5, teach 3. And if you don't know that, that means you've not watched the College and Brand Partner Overview enough. It's on the YouTube channel. If all I had to do is have 6 appointments, 10 minutes each, and my calendar was full every single day, 6 days a week, to teach them 5-5-3 to make $1,501 in 60 days. And if you don't know those numbers, it's because you have not watched the BPO, the Brand Partner Overview. You should memorize it so you could do that in your sleep. I wouldn't do cups of tea every day, because teaching people the comp plan so they can start the business is way higher level than doing the virtual cups of tea. Does that make sense? But if I had two 30-minute slots of my hour that only had 1 hour to do a day. And it was to train a brand new distributor that I recruited. I wouldn't do anything else in the business. But if I'm proving a point here, and I hope you really drive home, because this is why I'm where I am. And this is part of my secret sauce. This is part of what I would charge you $10,000 to a month. Yeah, a month to mastermind with me. Okay. Because this is what separates me from everybody else in network marketing, is because I've developed the leadership teams in every single company that I have of people who are better than me. That's the secret sauce. So if I had 1 30-minute session, pardon me, if I had 2 30-minute sessions a day, and it was booked every single day for the next 3 months, and all I was doing was taking an up and coming leader, those people who raise their hand to go elite, with three brand new distributors, and I was training them on how to launch a team. That's all I do. But if I only had 1 hour a day and it was booked 6 days a week, and it was for an elite distributor who was going master, and it was to teach them the 3-step system that they would enact in their bit. Do you see what I'm saying? What I've done is I've just taken this. I started you kind of up here, right? And I worked down the funnel or up the funnel I worked down the funnel to a higher priority, higher yielding activity. Does that make sense? Okay. So right now, I don't have that strategy session with an elite for that. I'm just going to say the 1 hour, right? You want to grow your business, work 8 hours or work 2 hours, right? You know what I'm saying? But it's that higher level of activity. Why are you wasting time on social media if you've got 60 years of high profile, of high investment activities with people, and you're not networking? That'll get you there faster. So anyway, that's our social media power hour today. How to create content ideas. Okay. Starting with your avatar, starting with you, who you are, why you're here. It's your time, who you're talking to, who's your audience, the 3 to 5 things that really excite me, that interest me, creating a notebook of content ideas. I've got ideas on my content on my Evernote that are months old that I haven't even gotten to. And here's my suggestion: put the newest ideas at the top and let it just kind of push it down. And then if you ever have 5 minutes, because you have 5 minutes that are free, not doing all those other more important activities, then you pull it down and say, oh my goodness, that idea from 3 weeks ago is cherry bomb. That's cherry Coke right there. I'm grabbing that. And then you go and create the content, right? Creating albums for your content that you've created, okay? Or are going to create so you can find it easier, and using the saved button on Instagram and Facebook to save other people's posts that are your creative ideas. So, all right. Yes, that was a seamless transition, Mary. And I needed a team. I needed a team to do this. By the way, I'm going to be doing more and more and more of this because I want to help you attract your ideal business partners and your divine customers. Okay. And create a media company. Big people are doing this. This is, again, if you had all these appointments already booked, or you knew, then you should do that. Do the higher activity. Don't waste your time. It's like this. Don't waste your time raking a field to prepare it, to put furrows in, to prepare it so you can drop corn in, if you've got 5 acres of corn that is ripe on the ear, if the field is ripe already to harvest. Okay. Why would you do that? That's stupid, right? So you all have ears of corn that you should harvest, but you're not going to probably be busy with that all day. So then you come and you kind of prep all that other stuff. Anything else? Learning curve. Yes, it's a learning curve. Listen, I'm learning. Oh my goodness, I'm learning. I'm going to be learning a year from now. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. I don't see anything else.
Jeff, can I ask
other? Yeah.
Can I ask one quick question? Just this recording is going to be saved where and where we're going to be able to find this and share it with our teams and going forward again? Could you just one more time?
Love it. So today, as soon as it renders this afternoon, I'm going to record. I'm recording the company's podcast, Activation Nation, today. So I'm going to record that at 1 o'clock. They'll edit it. It'll probably be up in a week or two. So I'm going up there, and I'm meeting with Richard Langenheim to unveil his CEO Top 10 Award and then present it to him, because that's how he wants to do some of his social media. That's content. I thought, wait a second. So I'm going to award him that. I'm going to use that as my own content, right? Your life, your beliefs, who you are, what you believe, why you're here is your greatest content. Okay. I decided I'm going to take mine, which is still unopened because it's been sitting here because I've been overvaluing how I'm going to create the flipping content. And I've got a top 10 award 2021. I got a Pro 3 and a Pro 5 award, and they're all sitting here like this. Don't do that. Okay. I'm going to unveil mine at my top 10. I'm going to take pictures with Richard and then do a little photo shoot or a little video shoot with Richard as we hold our back-to-back, our awards. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to have a little fun with it. And then some of that will end up in my content. So I'm going to this will be rendered. This will basically be saved. It takes a little time for Zoom to save this, 30 minutes. I'll then download it to my computer. I'm walking you through how I do these things so that you can do these things. So everybody who's listening to this recording can do these things. I then save it from Zoom to my hard drive on my computer. That takes, 5 minutes. Then I go in and I should be more organized, and I should have a repository like one of these. Go to Costco and get 1 terabyte. This is a terabyte of data that, into my laptop, and start keeping things on here as well. You want to have backups. You want to have this, but all my content I can put on here and take with me wherever in the world I go, right? So I'll put on my hard drive. Then what I'll do, I'm not going to edit this first one because I don't have time, right? I don't have time to edit it. I'm going to take this hour and 10 minutes. I'm going to upload it to our YouTube channel. I'm teaching you how you can create a YouTube channel by just doing this. I'm going to take this content that we created. I'm going to then upload it to the CEO-Creating Entrepreneurs Online. And if you're not subscribed to that, you can subscribe to that channel, which is where I'm going to be talking to anybody in the world. It's mainly LifeVantage people, but my vision is, right, is I get anybody in the world who wants to follow Seth Mulder, the amazing mastermind and master of masters in network marketing, for my mastermind free ideas, so that then maybe they'll funnel through to my $10,000 a month coaching class. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just kind of building out things for you. It'll go on CEO. If you're subscribed to that, Bob, then you'll get a notification from that YouTube channel. But what I do from there is I take that as soon as it's done, and it'll be titled Social Media Power Hour, today's date, with a couple of things that we talked about, right? I will take that link as soon as I hit save and publicize it to the world, so all 8 of you can watch it. I'll take that YouTube link because the CEO Women thread is my lifeblood. That's where I'm going to put the first thing I'm going to communicate is to the CEO women who trust me with their time. So I'm putting it in there because those are my besties in this business. Okay. My call it daily inner circle. And then I'm going to take it and I'll put it into CEO. I'll just take that file. I'll say Social Media Power Hour and put it in the CEO Facebook community. Right. And then what you'll do is you'll be able to take that from right there, probably ideally, you'll then tag your team in that community. Because that's something I do for free, and I build that community as part of my system for us as a worldwide team. And that's how some of you knew about this, right? Is that you're connecting in from the CEO community, and kind of that takes you through the steps. So. Yes. Okay. Awesome. Bob, would love to know how to create a YouTube channel. Yeah. So YouTubing, one thing, keep these things coming. Start with one thing, do it. I'm going, I think, to a podcast for me and Stephanie because I want to do more things with my wife. Okay. So that's one way. And it will force me to learn to shut up and let her talk more. Okay. Because I know this, I know I'm good, but I know that me and my wife together are better. And that's just something I want more of in my life. Right. And I know that podcast is going to be, it's going to be blessings. It's money, right? Having women, who like our moms telling some of their story. That's where we're starting actually, because got to give props to mom. How about, what's her name on our board of directors? You know who I'm talking about. Yeah. Erin Brockovich. Yeah. I'm going to be I'm going to be interviewing Ann Devere because she's got some amazing, and we're just going to pull one story out, like 60 minutes with these ladies. And you're going to have a couple of episodes. And guess what? We're going to put that out there because we believe it, but that's part of our mission to liberate women. Right. And then that's going to be a funnel, because on every one of those podcasts that those women listen to, so, hey, this is sponsored by CEO Women. That's an initiative that Stephanie and I have in the business world to blah, 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 our little 10-second commercial, right? And we're bringing value to them and they're tied in and they're listening to our podcast instead of listening to Gary Vaynerchuk, right? Or instead of listening to Joe Rogan, or instead of listening to Shay, who I follow, right? And listening to her podcast, because I've been listening to these women's podcasts so that I can understand, what are they doing? You know what? I'm not going to be blabbing on my podcast. we're going to bring in women. We're going to approach this like a Joe Rogan who brings in these amazing people. That's what, and we're going to be women who've climbed Mount Everest, or women who've done, extreme sports, and women who've raised families, and women who've come back from you don't come back injuries, like falling off a 6-foot staircase, who rebuild their life, who've been executives and now are entrepreneurs. I mean, that's the kind of stuff we're going to do. We're going to put that content in there. That's going to be work, by the way. I'm going to have to hire somebody to produce that for me. Okay. Because I don't want to do all the work myself, because I can afford in my budget to spend $1,000 a month to create a podcast that I hope is going to, bring me. Now, if I couldn't, guess what I would do? I'd stay up an hour later, and it would be the one new project that I'm going to add to, right? Because I can't do 10 things, but I could do a podcast. And by the way, we're doing a video podcast. Why? Coming back to the YouTube channel, Bob, because a video podcast, the audio can be captured for a little more work. And it is, because then we got to get dressed, or maybe we don't. Maybe we'll do the podcast in our pajamas, because we can. Because this is CEO Women, we can wear whatever we want, right? And we'll be interviewing that person, and then that goes onto a YouTube channel, right? And people find us and follow us from that YouTube channel. So there's so many cool things that I'm seriously learning. Anyway, thanks. I super appreciate all of you. By the way, team.ceo, sorry, Melanie, team.ceo is going to be where we have a lot of this training. Like the community will be, the Facebook community will be where we dump stuff in, right? And tag and stay in that. It's like a stream. The team.ceo will be the edited. Here's what, so then we'll take the most important hour of Social Media 101 from 10 hours of content, and it'll be the social media social media startup guide, hour 1, right? Where they'll have to do less filtering. Does that make sense? So eventually you'll be able to send your team there and say, well, in a month, you'll be able to send them there and say, here's where you get the getting started video. It'll plug you in. It'll get your neuro tools, and it'll get you recruiting, right? And then there'll be a social media thing. And then, so that's kind of the big mastermind piece. So Melanie.
Seth, I can't even tell you how huge all of this. You
We're
can
recording.
you
Go
can
ahead.
record
Start
me
over.
now, because
Start
this
over.
morning. Anyhow, I have to say that all of this is just so huge. I have been taking steps out, and just like huge steps. So this has been so. I posted a picture of my swollen up lip, and it's got 47 comments on it right now, you know? And so if I hadn't had that conversation with you the other day, but just even in listening to this video, I have my distributor who just moved to Texas. She hasn't been involved in this at all. She's lonely, she's depressed. And while we were on this call, I sent her that college and brand partner video because I was like, wow, I sent her so much stuff from this because you've made it easy to step in now with these videos for us to be able to bring on partners. And I don't have anxiety about that because I really was having so much anxiety about how am I even going to handle a team right now with the stress that I have here. I'm more fragile than I've ever been, but this gives me tools to pass out. Look, I sent that today. So here's my next question. We talked about on Power the Hour the other day about those slides that Vandy posted in CEO Women. You talk about spending a day. I spent a day yesterday recording myself and recording myself and recording myself. So I'm like, finally, better done than not. I have a video I have ready. But my question is I know you were showing us to put it on Reels. Do I post it on Reels and then post the static pages on my story and Instagram?
Okay.
That's where I'm confused.
Okay. So what I would do, number one, so the way I suggested, I don't know what you created, and whatever you create is great. I suggested a 15-second video introing what they're going to see, prepping people. It's a kind of a hook, right? Right?
Yep.
Then,
And that's what, yeah.
Then her 5 slides about how to start the business and what they're going to do and the system they're going to get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then a post-op video, which is maybe the call to action. So there you have it. There you have it. The couple of steps to actually getting started and doing something. And if I can do this with the hell that we've gone through in the last year, I know that you can, and I promise you can. And here's the last reason. Because you see this hand? I'm holding out my hand because I promise you, I'm going to do it together. Boom, you're done. That was darn good, huh? That's why
so good. Don't delete that. That was so good.
This will be on the recording. So my question, hey, Rai. So the question is, do you have a 15-second video beforehand, but like a 15-second or less to intro it, or is it longer?
It's like 20 seconds. It's
Cool.
27 seconds.
Okay, so then that's 2 pages. That's cool. That's 2 pages
okay?
of the story. Yeah.
Okay.
Make sure you caption those, right? Because
It
people,
won't caption, it says it's not available, but I'll play with that and see what I can do.
we can always help on it. It should like when you bring it into stories, it'll caption it for you, right?
I tried that yesterday. That's where I was like so excited about this today to talk about it. And anyhow, we could take that
Okay,
offline.
so-
It's exactly 19 seconds long.
Okay. So here's the deal. What stories is going to do is it's going to give you a 15-second story and a 4-second story. And then it's going to go in. That's not bad. It's just not, but just treat it like that. We'll just treat, I'm going to say that those 2 pages, you're going to upload them and caption them, right? Then
To Instagram
to
or
stories. To stories.
to my Facebook stories or
To
Instagram.
Instagram stories.
Okay.
So,
okay.
so here's how it works. You go to that video, you go to Instagram stories, you hit upload, you hit add video, you caption it, and you hit publish, right? And you publish those immediately, right?
Yep.
Then you go to page 1 of Vandy's thing, publish. Then you go to page 2, publish. Then you go to page, so you publish all 5 pages of Vandy's thing, right? Then you go to your call to action video, which has already been recorded, right? Have that already recorded and say, there it is. And so if this talks to you, if you got touched, like I got touched, you know, or it's your clothes, whatever. It's like, I'm holding my hand out here for you because I'm talking to the woman who, boom, 15 seconds or 15, 30 seconds or less. I'm talking to the woman who, boom, here's my hand. I'm going to help you. If you've gone through a health crisis, so have I. If you've left a career, so have I. If you're raising kids, so have I. And I've got 20 other reasons I tell you why I'm doing this business, but I'm out of time. DM me and let's set up a virtual cup of coffee. Boom. Right?
That's amazing. Okay.
And then that's your close. And then you add that video to your story. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the
Thank you.
story is going to be page 1, intro video, page 15 seconds, page 2, intro video, 4 seconds in this case. And then Vandy's awesome slides. Thank you, Vandy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages. Then your closing video, make it short, make it sweet, 15 seconds or less. Boom. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8-page video, right? Okay, and this is the extra credit, and this is why it's recorded, and you can go back and, well, how did it? Then what you're going to do is and Steph has my phone, so I can't show you. And I got to be at the office in 37 minutes. But then you're going to take that story, because that's a good one. That's probably one of the best stories, multiple page stories that you have. Hook, story, call to action. You're going to go to Instagram. You're going to go to your profile page. You're going to go to highlights, and you're going to make those 8 pages in that order a highlight. So they show up on your highlights, and you're going to title that highlight whatever you want, right? Okay. There you go.
Some of that. Okay, good. My
It'll
IT
be
guy.
recorded. Here's what I do recommend.
I'm gonna
On-
post it today. That's the thing. Do it now. Post it
Yep,
today,
do it.
right? Yeah.
All right. Woo. I love this too. Bob says, Melanie says she's more fragile than ever. However, I would tell you she is stronger than ever. And the way that our lives are is that those are often, there's a duality in life. There's so much going on. There's a fragility, or I will say a vulnerability. But at the same time, there is a dual, equal, and at least as equal and opposite strength and resiliency at the same time. So, and we see it, Melanie, Ryan, I promise you we see it. So thanks for sharing. Thanks for being you. We love you.
Thank you for being you, Seth Mulder, because you make us fall in life with the life we lead. And I bless you for that, because I have found so much love in my life, and it just started by loving myself. So if I love myself, then I could share it with the world. And there is no money in the world that can replace that. And all of you are part of the CEO team. Love you all.
Wow, powerful. I'm going to stop the recording. I'm going to leave this on. And I got a